broadcasting legend in his own mind. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right. Good evening. Good morning, everyone. It's happy Sunday, Funday, man. Still a little, partly cloudy from the night before. A little, still working that Thanksgiving hangover, as most of us are. And as finally, we got a lot to get over. Finally, Detroit, still rebuilding since 1949, made some changes up top. There was a boxing match last night, and we'll get into that a little bit, and some rumblings at Eagles practice as well. So we'll see. How's that mean for everyone else? And we'll go from that.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, I think we need to talk about the COVID situation because I think NFL needs to get really realistic in, what's going on right now. They're saying, Stizz, Coach, that Ravens game is still, going to happen. And to me, how do you play that game? It just makes zero sense to me.
Right.
The Broncos game, it's pretty crazy to think that you're going to have no quarterback. I mean, that's insane. But they're not in contention for a playoff spot. I don't think anybody here thought that the Broncos were going to matter when it comes to the playoff picture or in the postseason. But the Ravens, it's a different story. You're in the 8th seed. There's still talent on that team. I don't think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. But who knows? If they got in, look, that was a team that was 14-2 last year. Right. They could get hot. I don't think this is their year, but still, they could get hot. You do have the MVP of the league from last year on your team, and he's the guy who tested positive. Coach, my mom's saying no sound.
I hear you. No sound. I hear everyone, but I don't know.
That's good that you hear, but yeah.
It could be a Facebook issue. I mean, shit. I don't know, honestly, because all my sound's working here, so I don't know what else to do. What else do I do? You know what I'm saying? It could be a Facebook issue.
Make sure everything on your end's turned up. I know we hear you and all.
You're
not muted below or anything?
No, nothing's.
Is there still no sound?
No.
I just turned my iPad on loud, and I'm getting sound through my iPad.
Okay, Mom, it might be your computer.
Yeah. Turn your volume up, bro.
Come on, Mom. Let me get our show all discombobulated. Yeah, my mom got our show all discombobulated. Yeah, let me check on my phone and see if it's coming through. Good idea.
Way to throw the wrench in it. Man.
Yeah, it's working. We're good. I tell you, my mom, see, her and my dad aren't really very technically sound. I think that's probably the issue. They
I think Mom, right away jumping on Coach. I mean,
I think Mom's been tipping the elbow early Sunday morning.
Yeah, right. I thought you only did that on Thursday. Sunday morning too. Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, here we go. Right, let's put it up there. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
How did you hear that? Yes, my volume's all the way up. How'd you hear that? Oh, it must be working now. All right, Mom. Well, thanks for throwing off the first 5 minutes of the show. But anyway, you guys cool with starting with Peterson, Doug Peterson? Is that good with you guys? And then we'll get to COVID and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's rumors that Jeffrey Lurie's never missed a game in a long time. He didn't go to the Cleveland game. So there's rumors he's upset. Now, then there's also he's worried about traveling with COVID. Now, he flies private. I don't think Jeffrey Lurie's getting on a commercial plane. So he's trying to fly private.
Flight,
right. And I'm sure he's keeping away from everybody and going into his own box to be alone. So I think that might have been – and look, he's upset with the offense. And there's rumors, supposedly they said Doug wouldn't be disappointed if he got fired. And I think Doug's point is like, look, my first year, we have a half-decent year, and then it's Super Bowl, divisional round, wild card. We've been in 3 years in a row in the playoffs. But in my opinion, since they won the Super Bowl, they've been like a 500 team, and they've really underperformed each year. The last 2 years, let's not forget, the second year, Wentz had to Foles had to really make that run where they lost to the Saints in the second round. Last year, Wentz wins the last 4 games to get into the playoffs. And the only reason they made the playoffs last year, let's not kid each other, was because they're in a horrible division. So yeah, there's a lot of issues, and like a lot of people are saying, I know, but a lot of people are saying, how did this team win a Super Bowl? And how they look now, just in regards to play calling and everything.
But Wentz did quit in the playoff game last year.
He didn't quit, dude. He
quit.
Coach,
I'm sorry.
Coach, when you hit your head like that, they put you on the side.
It's playoff time. You know what? It's playoff time.
Yeah, but if
you got to rip that helmet out of most guys' hands, you don't go over and turn your.
I agree with that, but if they deem you out, But, Coach, if they deem you out, you're out.
Wait a second. You know why he was deemed out? He was deemed out because he went up and said, I can't go. He said it.
You don't know that.
He said it. He did.
No, and Jay, I agree. They missed Frank Reich, no doubt. His creativity and his help with the offense is missed, no doubt. Look, if it's that bad, and, I think there's problems all over. The front office, Doug – but if they're not getting along and it's bad, then I guess it is time to move on. It's just crazy to think you win a Super Bowl and 3 years later we're at where we're at.
Yeah. They're going to be making a lot of changes soon, I'm thinking. We talked about Jalen Hurts who's going to get a lot more snaps this Monday night, which I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And they said during them snaps that Jalen Hurts is on the field, Carson Wentz will be sitting on the bench watching. He was part of every package that Jalen Hurts got on so far this year. I think he had like 12 pass plays this year, and Carson was on the field at the time. But
right
now, Jay, you could have kept him, but where are you going to put him? You're fresh off a Super Bowl. That's what happens when you win a Super Bowl. Most of the assistants get jobs.
Well, the guy who screwed us was McDaniels. He took the job and then backed out.
Right.
And Frank Reich would have stayed, although he was a hot commodity. He was going to get a job, I think, anywhere. And if you're getting offered a head coaching job, you're gonna take it over an offensive coordinator job.
Absolutely.
But I think the Eagles right now, they're a bad mix of young players with no talent and old players with diminishing talents. It's the rosters become old, and all these new guys you're bringing in. Dillard. I know he's not on the field, but he hasn't impressed either, the left tackle. Right. Rager, I think that the jury's kind of still out on. But, there's a lot of these guys. Arcadia Whiteside, second-round receiver pick, who we could have DK Metcalf. And he's coming in this Monday, and he'll probably have 200 yards, and I'm going to get more pissed that Howie didn't draft him. The guy's a beast.
At least.
Dude, he looks huge, Stizz. He's 6'5", like 220, and runs a 4.3 40. Yep. Makes no sense. So the Eagles, it's a shame. It's a dumpster fire right now, and there's so many questions. And you guys know when you're questioning your head coach and your quarterback, that's where it starts at the top. But still, there's a lot of questions, and this offseason is going to be very exciting in Eagles. For the Eagles.
Absolutely, it's going to be. And we talked about it. Now the Lions just cleaned house, fired their general manager and their coach. There could be 10 openings in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
If you go around the league, because already you have 3 that are open, Atlanta, Houston, and now Detroit.
Right.
You look at the
Dallas. Jets is definite and Chargers is definite, I think.
And I think the Jets and Jacksonville are definite. That's
6.
But now you got a possible San Diego or the Chargers.
LA. Right. I think McCarthy might be in trouble.
McCarthy's in trouble. I think Minnesota's coach is
Zimmer.
in trouble. That's 8.
Yep. Nagy from the
Nagy
Bears.
in Chicago with the Bears is 9. And the 10th one could be the Eagles.
Yeah, and then like I said too, I think, and I do agree with you, he doesn't have the talent, but Zach Taylor, you go 1-15, and then get your hero number 1 quarterback hurt in Joe Burrow. I agree. I don't think he has a talent around him, Coach, and it did seem like it's going in the right direction, but they're still 2-7-1. We'll see what happens there too, but it's going to be a crazy offseason. Like I said, there's going to be a ton of jobs open, and we will see what happens. I mean, you would hope Eric Bieniemy will get a job, and if I'm the Jets, that's what I'm doing. I'm hiring Eric Bieniemy, disciple of Andy Reid, creator, good creator of offense, and hoping we get Trevor Lawrence, and then figuring it out. You got to get the lines up front, offense and defensively, kind of figure it out and build from there.
Well, I heard yesterday that Trevor Lawrence's parents don't want him to go to the Jets. That they're going to encourage him to stay in school if the Jets plan on drafting him.
I wouldn't either.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, look, he's having a great time at Clemson, I'm sure. I mean, but I don't know. When you're the number 1 pick, man, it's tough to kind of go back when you're going to be the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, you want to get into the COVID situation?
Yeah, sure. Let's get into the COVID situation.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the Broncos, I think, obviously, with 3 players, quarterbacks, are out. I mean, like I said, because they're not in playoff contention, I think the NFL is just saying, let's go with it. But, man, with the Ravens, if they don't have Lamar Jackson on Tuesday, and they said today they're going to move forward, I think it was like 18 players or something, Stizz, that they said tested positive. I don't know how you play the game.
Mark Andrews, another name popped up. So, I mean, they're losing, 2 main running backs, that they're knockdown tight end, and they're all starting.
Yeah, the MVP of the league.
And now on the Steelers side, they're missing a couple guys too. The biggest name out of all of them is James Conner, of course. Right. But look, man, they got 89% of their team compared to Baltimore. And like we said, this is a huge game for Baltimore, man.
Yep.
This ain't you're not playing the Jets where you could say, okay, well, maybe I get lucky with half a team to squeak by.
Right.
You're going against Pittsburgh's defense, man. That's no easy task.
Yeah, and like you said, Stizz, they're the 8th seed. They're 6-4. Now, their schedule's not too bad down the stretch. They play the Cowboys. I think they play your Giants, right, Coach? I think the Ravens play the Giants, and I think they play.
Yes, they have the Giants.
Yeah, so they're not to be, but there's 2 winnable games. They can. I saw their schedule.
The Giants play really well.
They play on the. Oh, no, I know, but they play the Browns. Like they can win some games. They could go on a run here, and if they put them at 6-5, you're almost at the point you got to run the board or go 4 or 5. And it's unfair. Like I know they might say with COVID and all, but man, there hasn't been a situation like this. This is once again, we get back to the NFL. I think they need to do 2 things. You got to make another week. I mean, it's blowing up around the league right now. They're going to need to extend it a week, maybe 2, figure things out, push week 17 to week 18, and then maybe make week 17 just the makeup games or something so that everybody's playing in the last week. But they need to do something. This is blowing up. And then the second thing they must do is when we get to the playoffs, they have to bubble. Because if you go into a playoff Sunday and Patrick Mahomes or, one of these Drew Brees or one of these other star players is testing positive for COVID, you're going to end up having a season where people say you got to put an asterisk on it. Because, this guy was out. And you know what, Coach? Injuries is different. But when you have a COVID thing or something like, it's going to be all that what-if bull, BS. And you don't want that.
Wait a second. But I look at COVID just like it's the injury. They expanded the roster, and you have to deal with it.
You got a bubble. Man. So you don't think you bubble, though?
What? I agree with the bubble in the playoff. Right. I agree with that. But right now, I don't agree with everybody screaming and hollering. You know what? Hey, Denver, you suck it up. You should have signed another quarterback, man.
No, I agree. But what about the Ravens?
Roster, put another quarterback on your roster.
Broncos 4 quarterbacks because they were around Jeff Driscoll. They're all out. That's what happened. I mean,
you're right.
No,
you couldn't in that say, but there's guys on the street that could come in and play quarterback for you. Running back.
Well, we'll talk about that later. Guys on the street that can play quarterback for the Broncos. If you know what I'm saying, we'll talk about that later.
Big name coming up too.
Yeah, the big name that was floating around there.
Yeah. But no, I mean that's just that's a tough situation. And like the Ravens, I mean, you got so many, and it's look, I think we all know the Steelers have the division. That's not going to happen. But still, I mean, you're jockeying for playoff position, and there's a lot of good teams in there. I mean, you know how many teams are smushed in there at 7-3 or 6-4?
Right.
I mean, you got the Titans, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Raiders, and there's more teams too. I mean, it's like 5-6 teams that are all the Browns. That's 5 or 6 teams, and then obviously the Ravens that are all bunched at 6-4, 7-3. So they're right there from being in the playoffs, and this could be a huge loss if they lose this game. And once again, it's also losing a division game and a conference game, which if you get into a head-to-head situation and they got to go the tiebreaker, you got the conference record it's going to affect.
Right.
A lot of even more names that came out. We got a big division match coming up for the AFC South in Tennessee and Indy. Jonathan Taylor, the running back, is out, who, during the year we talked about him, really wasn't having a great year, but he came alive last week. Well, now you're losing him to COVID in a big AFC South matchup. 2 7-3 teams. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. No, that's one of the big games on the card today.
Sure.
No doubt about it. Coach's team, want to stay even with the Redskins. And coach,
they're not even. They would be in first place.
If they win. Yeah, because they beat them twice. Yeah.
This is for first place.
Right. And I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
That's what's big for the Giants because they've beaten the Redskins twice.
Right.
They've played the Cowboys. They beat them. They still need to play them again.
No, they haven't beat. They lost to the Cowboys.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Sorry about that. But I think the Cowboys are pretty much done.
And the Cowboys have pretty much put a fork in them. They're done. So, this is crucial because the Giants, like I said, they have a pretty tough schedule. If they can win today, now that Joe Burrow's out, and beat Dallas at the end, gives them 2 wins and puts them at 5-11.
Right,
might win the division. I don't know.
Yeah,
possible.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. But
where do the Giants squeak out another win? Could it be the Ravens? Could it be the Browns?
I think they can beat the Browns. You don't? I think they can.
I think so. It depends. They're kind of Jekyll and Hyde. The Browns are still up and coming. They're a little tough. So we'll see.
Yeah, no. It's,
did the Eagles get their pants blown off Monday night or what?
Yeah.
No, I think because Seattle's defense, although they are playing a little better, Jamal Adams and Dunlap had decent games last week, but I think the Eagles are finally going to be able to maybe score some points. I think they're going to lose, but I think they'll keep it within a touchdown. I hope. I mean, who knows? The Eagles just. I thought I had a good read with this team. I thought they were going to beat the Browns. I still think they should have beat the Browns. But they just completely neg, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we always say any given Sunday.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles beat them just because of that philosophy. Any given.
Right.
The goofiest thing, the times that you think that the team has no chance, that's when they win.
Right.
But it's just tough, man. Seattle's strong on offense. I mean, their defense stinks. They will give up a lot of points. I think the Eagles will be able to score on them. We'll see what kind of packages they have with Jalen Hurts coming in. Zach Ertz, we thought was going to be playing on Monday. Doesn't look so now. But that's okay. Goddard still looks okay. But, they need to run the ball with Miles Sanders.
Now, let me ask you, the dissension in the owner and head coach Could it be Doug wants to use more of Jalen Hurts, and the owner wants to keep Wentz in the game, and that is the how they're going round and round? Is that could that be part of the issue? Or but I just feel like also Doug is Andy's protege, and remember Andy forgetting to run the ball many times.
Yeah,
of getting out of that, and Doug falls into that same hole of not running the football.
Yeah, well, I think they say supposedly Lurie loves Wentz. Now, I just read that they said Jalen Hurts took reps with the first team this week. So, and I hope that's not just Doug's way of trying to punish Carson Wentz, because we talked about off show too that I think there is some fear if they put Jalen Hurts in and he does well, then you're really creating yourself a problem, because then it's going to be trade Wentz, release Wentz, which is going to be some huge cap hit, and keep Hurts. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's kind of hard what you're asking them to do, though, too, to come in cold and just, play a play here and there. It's not easy. You let, Taysom Hill, he gets a bit of a rhythm because he plays a lot of plays. Jalen Hurts, you're bringing him in for a play or two a game. It's a lot to ask out of a rookie.
Right. Absolutely. But they don't work him in. And I felt like they, from Jump Street, he should have been worked in, because as soon as they drafted him, they said, oh, he's going to be that Taysom Hill type of guy for us. And, we don't, it's so far and few between. The guy can't get into a rhythm.
I guess who would have thought that Carson Wentz would have been playing this bad? You know what I mean?
I thought all along, because I
shut up.
No, you did.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He wasn't a Carson Wentz guy, but he never said, that all this. I don't think anybody saw this.
They shouldn't have paid him. He hasn't proved himself.
That you're right about.
That you're
right about. No, that you're right about. I think they were, figured, okay, we have found a guy that's going to be our franchise QB. And look at the contracts that have been given out. I think it was all about saving money, but now it's backfire on him. You're right. He's been consistent with that. And I thought because the money they were saving, it was a good thing, but I'm wrong. I mean, now you really question yourself, about paying Wentz. There's no doubt about it, because now I don't know what kind of cap hit they take, but it's going to be huge if you release it.
Yeah, pretty big.
Right. It is. It's going to be huge, man. So
yeah.
You brought up Taysom Hill, Nick. What do you think the game script's going to be this coming week? Think they're going to have play more Kamara, more dump offs? I mean, I think they would have to after that zero catch performance last week.
Right. Well, and you know what, Stizz, too? I think they're going to kind of try to get a lead, and then, come on, you don't have a QB. You're going to be very one-dimensional, you would think. I think they're going to try to get up and be very – I don't want to say conservative, but still, you want to keep some tricks in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? For future games, because as you said before, we don't know how long Breeze is going to be out. He might be out to the playoffs. I mean, the guy broke how many ribs and punctured his lung? I think it's like 8 ribs or 9 ribs. That's dude playing football. That's painful sitting on your couch. Okay, right. Playing a football game. I mean, we could be talking about a long time here. And look, the Saints right now are the number 1 seed in the NFC. And we all said how important it's going to be to get that this year, because there's only one team with a bye. So I think they'll be a little conservative and try to keep some things in the pocket, hoping they can kind of beat this team without having to use their full arsenal of plays and whatnot.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
What's up, Joanne?
What's up, Joanne? How you doing?
Joanne, how you doing?
There we go. Good job, Coach. Took him 2 minutes. He got it up. He's got a fan club now.
Here, trying to multitask here.
Yeah.
You got to put the pretty faces up on the screen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Our 3 mugs.
Yeah. This has got his fan club, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen.
Yep. We got it going. So,
Chats by the fireside with Stizz.
Fireside chats.
That's
There
right.
you go.
So you and Coach, you mentioned earlier the whole Tyson Roy Jones. I did watch that last night, and it was just, basically people watched because they wanted to see Tyson knock somebody out.
Right.
And all Roy Jones did the whole night was hold him, and it's all to set up. They wanted to fight again. I mean, I wouldn't pay $50 to watch him fight again.
No way.
I mean, it was just. Roy Jones looked out of shape. I mean, it was, he looked very out of shape. He was still breathing heavy after the fight, and it's just, Tyson shows you glimpses of but he's still 54 years old. So, it was kind of a joke.
They said it looked like a family fight you would see at your barbecue.
That's what you're saying. Yep, the two uncles fighting. It's exactly what they said.
Yeah, sticking and moving and talking a lot of trash. That's all.
Yeah. So, I don't think we'll see that one again. But you know what, though, too? That's what boxing's become. I mean, it's sad. There's no fights out there. There's that guy who's a YouTuber, Jake Paul. He's calling out Floyd Mayweather and all these guys because none of these boxers, they're all irrelevant. Boxing's become a joke, man. It's a shame. When I was a kid, it was big. Those big fights you wanted to see, the heavyweight championships, and especially you think about the '90s. You had Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and then you kind of had the Klitschko brothers in the 2000s. But it really, since then, man, you really haven't seen anything in any of the divisions.
Dropped off big time, unfortunately.
Yeah,
absolutely. I believe it has kind of fallen, and plus, you got to remember MMA. As soon as that kind of got on the scene in the late '90s, early 2000s, boxing just kind of fell off a cliff, man.
Right now, obviously, Stizz brought up the AFC South game.
Mm-hmm.
The other big game on the board to me, probably a couple weeks ago, was looking like game of the year possibility. But obviously they've come back down to earth, is the Chiefs-Bucks game at 4:25. That's a big one. Honestly, I wish that was the 8:00 game, not the Bears-Packers.
Yeah.
But would you call this a must-win for the Bucks?
Yes, absolutely.
I would too.
You lost 2 in a row. You can't lose 3 in a row and expect to consider yourself a playoff Super Bowl team anyway.
Right.
I know that the NFC is bad, but come on, you can't. You're losing. You're on a 2-game skid. You gotta bounce back. This is a real must win for them.
Yeah, and what a team to have to go against, the reigning Super Bowl champ. Mahomes, the quarterback, just so hard to try to stop that offense. I think the best thing you can do, Coach, is take the old Belichick playbook from the '90s and just, like they did with the Bills, just try to keep that offense off the field.
Right.
Good luck with that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Kansas City's like the Golden State Warriors. You know what I mean? They're going to put up a ton of points. You just got to outshoot them.
Right. No.
You know what I mean?
And you want to try to slow the game down and keep them from what's going on, Vicky.
What's up, Vicky? They can't both lose, Vicky. Come on, they can tie.
There you go. Root for a tie, Vicky.
There you go.
I'll tell you, Vicky, your team, they got to get the win today, and they should. But I'll tell you, the line is weird on that game. Don't you think so, Stizz? Raiders only being a 3-point favorite, and mention the guys you said that were out as well.
Well, yeah, we talked about that. I mean, they're in Atlanta, but listen, no Todd Gurley, okay? Julio is questionable, but looking like he's not going to play. They had another player out too. I'm trying to remember who I mentioned.
Hayden Hurst, did you say him?
Hayden Hurst, correct? Yeah. So they're losing a tight end, they're starting running back, and their all-star receiver. That's a tough spot, man. They still got Calvin Ridley, who's going to knock the block off the down the field, but against that Raiders defense. But I think it's a good spot for the Raiders to be in, to tell you the truth. And coming off a loss to Kansas City, they're going to be pissed off. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, it should be a good game, and it is. It's one of those. I think for the Raiders, because of it being so log jammed in the AFC, this is kind of a must win for them as well, because you got to kind of stay pace. You can't really afford to lose some games because of all that.
Raiders have to win the next two, because so they go at Falcons, at Jets, got to win those two. Must wins. And then they got a tough 3-game stretch where it's Colts all at home, luckily, Colts at home, Chargers at home, Dolphins at home. So you got 2 teams that you're in direct contention with the playoffs for. And then the Chargers in the middle could be a trap game. Let's not forget the last game. The Chargers, were a catch away from winning that game. So, Vicky, she hates that. What's his name? Trent Brown, the tackle. Yeah. I mean, he's been. I guess it's a disgrace. I mean, he was the one guy too. Took his. They gave you some kind of, I don't know, like a thing to wear to see if you came in contact with anybody with COVID, a tracker. He took his off and went out and caused the whole scene already. Like, when you pay somebody $66 million, you should be able to follow some sort of protocol. The guy, look, he'll be going after this year, and somebody else will sign him because he's 6'8", 360, and he's huge.
Absolutely.
Right. But, but it won't be for the money because, well, obviously they don't have to pay him. The Raiders will still be paying part of that, so it'll kind of work it.
No,
work itself.
They can cut him loose. They signed a smart deal. It was a 2-year deal, basically. Year 3, so this year they can cut him, which is rare when you see it. It's rare when you sign a $66 million deal that in year 3 you can cut bait with nothing. Yeah, but they can cut bait. So. We'll see what happens.
So he getting paid what, like, because wasn't like 30 some odd million was almost half of that was guaranteed though.
Right, and they must have got it through in the first 2 years.
$15 million a year, the first 2 years, $15 million a year guaranteed, and then they're done with it. Yeah.
So that will be interesting. And then obviously we had the games Thursday. I'll tell you. Deshaun Watson, I know they're 4-7. Last 4 games, though, I think it's 16 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, we talk about it, but what if this guy had some talent, man? Line.
What if he still had D-Hop? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Stizz, imagine him with a decent defense and a couple players. I mean, put him on the Raiders. He put him on the Colts. Right. Oh, my God, the Colts would be a Super Bowl contender. I mean, just with one player put in there. Yeah. I mean, and that was another one I said, too, Teddy Bridgewater. I'd love to see him in Indianapolis, instead of Phillip Rivers. I just think he would put that team a whole other level. They got a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Let me ask you this. I want to ask you something. All right?
Yeah, good. No, usually you wait till somebody talks, and then you But,
get him, Nick.
Yeah,
but you're done talking on my end.
No, I wasn't. Was I done talking? I'm never done talking. Come on, Stizz will tell you.
That's right. You never shut up for 2 minutes, so I have to interrupt you.
Well, you're lucky I don't show up, man. I fill up your show for you. All right, dog?
Get a dog.
Go ahead, Coach.
How bad is Minnesota looking right now by getting rid of him and not letting him, not holding him and letting him get himself back together and playing. I mean, you were a Super Bowl contender. You had Teddy Bridgewater instead of Kirk Cousins. I think that team probably made it to a Super Bowl. Maybe not win it, but I mean, they could have played in a Super Bowl with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely would have been better. And let's not forget this too, Coach. Teddy Bridgewater is getting $20 million. Kirk Cousins is getting $31. So you save $11 million too, which you could put in other positions. I'd like to see them. I mean, Teddy played with a lot of teams that were run first and not many weapons around. I'd like to see what he could. Look what he's doing in Carolina. Yeah. Now, they're not awful. Stizz, remind me, he's got Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, is it?
Yes.
DJ Moore, yeah. And
they're good.
And Curtis Samuel.
Right. Yeah, and McCaffrey's been hurt, but he's balling, man. They don't have a great line. he's playing really well. I mean, with the Vikings, he and Dalvin Cook and him, and that's the one thing he's not going to do is make the mistakes Kirk Cousins makes. Teddy doesn't make mistakes, man. He's very, very smart in that sense. He doesn't turn the ball over. That's why he got the moniker as a game manager. But he can ball.
Absolutely.
And I think, it puts Carolina in such a predicament. He's playing really well, helps you build all those pieces around there. But again, you're playing well, you're down the draft board where you don't need that quarterback right away. You're able to put that tackle into place, get some more weapons around it and build that defense. And possibly Teddy's your guy. You might sign him again and run it out.
Yeah. Now, Stizz, you want to get into your starts and sits of the week? I don't know if you have a waiver wire this late, but
well, I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, there's always a waiver wire out there. It's getting a little tough. The good thing is there's no buys this week. So, but a lot of this COVID going around and a lot of injuries, you're short on guys.
Right.
This is the big time in fantasy football, fellas. There's only 2 more weeks left in the fantasy football season. Most leagues only go till week 13 of the regular season. They start week 14 playoffs, week 15 playoffs, week 16 Super Bowl in the fantasy set. Because week 17, they tend to sit guys like the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, if they're 15-1, Steelers, right? They're 15-1, 16-0, whatever.
Yep.
They're stick guys in the last week because they got nothing to play for.
And Stizz, with the bye being eliminated too, you're definitely going to see that. If you're in the first round and you're not going to be able to jockey for position or get a home game, you're going to maybe sit your odds. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you're not getting the bye, and there's only one team that gets the bye now in the first round.
Why wouldn't you?
Right.
So I'm going to jump over to the waiver wire. It's going to be slim pickings with this guy if you can get him, but he did come off a bye week last week. People may have dropped him. I'm going Wayne Gallman, running back for the Giants, going up against Cincinnati. Hey, listen, 5 touchdowns in the last 4 games, fellas, averaging 16 fantasy points per week in those 4 games. He's playing pretty well. He's playing pretty well coming in as a starter. Cincinnati giving up the 4th most rushing yards in the league this year. So I think it's a good spot if you can get them. Like I said, a lot of times in fantasy, you have to play the guys you have. And if the guys aren't playing a la bye week, a la injury, sometimes you have to drop them. And sometimes guys like us, we get lucky and we're able to snag them back up. So, I'm looking for Wayne Gallman, see if you can get him. It's a good spot for him against Cincinnati this week. Start of the week. I'm going Nick Chubb against Jacksonville. Good spot for him as well. Just came back from injury 2 weeks ago. 19 carries and 20 carries. We talked about it last week. What's the Browns' identity? Run the ball.
Right.
They got a 2-headed monster there. The only thing you got to worry about is Kareem Hunt vulturing some of them, run attacks. Now, they put him on the goal line last week. Nick Chubb had a hell of a game last week. He was over 100 yards. They bring in Kareem Hunt on goal line and ran him 3 times in a row until he got in the end zone, which has got to drive you crazy if you're a Nick Chubb owner. But you know what? Over 100 yards in 4 of 6 games Nick Chubb played. Pretty good averages. Jags, 6th worst versus the run. I'm liking Nick Chubb today. I think he has a monster game. I think it's a good spot for him. Sit of the week. We'll talk a little bit about somebody I was kind of eyeing up. My sit of the week this week is Melvin Gordon against the Saints. Okay? This guy's sporadic, man. This guy's sporadic. Listen, we talked about the Saints run attack. Saints allowing only 3 rushing touchdowns this season, fewest in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty damn good. They haven't allowed a rushing touchdown since week 4, guys.
Yeah, and they're going to stack today because you don't have a quarterback.
All you do is run the football, right?
Yeah, they're going to stack.
Right. So what else you going? Right. What else you going to do with 4 quarterbacks missing from Denver? I guess you have to run the ball. Well, they're not going to be able to against this New Orleans defense. Melvin Gordon was known for his catching abilities. 3 targets in the past 3 games. 1 catch for 9 yards.
Wow.
It's not going to do it, man. It's not going to do it. And Philip Lindsay's actually out-touching him this week, you know?
He's been more impressive, I think, too, Stizz.
He has been more impressive, you know? And so Melvin Gordon's riding my bench. Now, I thought about this for a while. I did a lot of research last night, and, we talked about Denver missing the 4 quarterbacks. A lot of rumor going around they were going to fly Nevada Nick into Denver and put him in his starting quarterback. And I'll tell you, Coach would enjoy this. They said, the stories I've read, Nevada Nick was a Jared Lorenzen-like quarterback. Okay? Giants drafted him in 2004, had him on the roster for 4 years. 6'4", 315 pounds. Okay? Also known as BBQ, Big Beautiful Quarterback. Or his other alias was He Ate Me. Okay? So Nevada Nick, I don't know if they called you yet or not. I know they put it on the tube that this Kendall Hinton from Wake Forest was going to be the starter, but might be outdoing him.
Stizz, I can't comment on that right now. Obviously my agent is in talks. I can't deny nor confirm. But I told him, just like on the show here, I'll take payment as Christmas cookies. I'm fine with that. Just like the bakery, if you want to put them up again, Coach, it's going to send us cookies. So, no, yeah. And look, the NFL knows if Nevada Nick comes in, they're already prepared for the campaign. All the Michael Vick experience is going to become the Nevada Nick experience. That's what's going to happen. It's going to – if I get in there, I mean – I run like McCaffrey, throw like Mahomes. That's all I'm saying. I'll be like Cam back there. Might not be the speed, but the power, man. I'll be like Christian Okoye back in the 90s. Remember? Like the fridge running. Christian Okoye was a beast, dude. Christian
Okoye. Hey, I can confirm that there was the team jet at the Philadelphia International Airport on Friday. Okay, the Broncos team jet was in Philadelphia on Friday. So I just want to
and Vicky, real quick. Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, Antonio Brown, they got to get involved. And no, I won't be in Vegas till next year for the Eagles game. I'm in Philly, so but I'm hoping. And maybe these 2 guys, I'm hoping Stizz will come with me. Maybe Coach will come too. We'll see. But I will be in Vegas for the
absolutely
game next year.
I'm not turning down a trip to Vegas, baby.
Long as we're flying first class, I'm in.
Hey,
absolutely.
Coach, we'll take the show to my hometown. Come on, man. That'd be great, To a Giants and an Eagles fan and a Raiders game. I'm sure it'll go really well.
Sounds like a bad joke.
Yeah.
I just can't wait for this Denver game to hear the announcers yelling, rumbling, stumbling, Nevada Nick comes in.
Oh, man.
Jared Lorenzen-esque.
Yeah. The hefty lefty. And he ended up passing away.
Yeah.
He's pretty young, too. I don't know what it was from.
38 years old.
That's crazy.
James.
Ugh. And that's how old I am, too. So it's,
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. All right. I guess want to go to the prop bet. All right, Stizz, you got your prop bet, buddy?
Sure. Of course I do. Of course I do.
We could have ended on that, but we
got I had to come back again. I had a bad Thursday again. I don't know what it is with these Thursdays. I come in and I guess I don't do as much research and I kind of just try to throw something together.
Yeah.
I've had Houston.
Yeah, your interns are lacking.
They are. I'm gonna have to. Well, once I get these cookies, maybe I can give them, some of these great cookies, kind of booster them up and get some more facts and get some more stats. Get the stat line for me. But this week, guys, I'm coming off the Schneid. I'm going with Stephon Diggs over 84.5 receiving yards versus the LA Chargers. He's Josh Allen's go-to wide receiver, man. He loves him. Only 3 games this season, he went under this number of 84.5. averaging 10-plus targets a game. We see. I mean, that's his go-to, right?
Right.
No John Brown today either, so they're missing a receiver. The big thing is for the Chargers, they're banged up on defense, man. We've seen they're letting a lot of points up.
Yeah, they are.
Hayward today, they're shut down corner. No Melvin Ingram today. I really think Stephon Diggs is going to feast today. He should have over 100 yards again, and it's going to be a good game. I like Buffalo in that game, -4.5. I think Stephon Diggs is going to have a breakout.
Yeah, and if you're Buffalo, look, the Dolphins are clipping at your heels. You know what I mean? And you play them in a couple weeks. They play them in week 17. So you gotta, you don't want a scenario where you're going in there tied, because a tie, I think Buffalo, even if the Dolphins win, they would be split. But Dolphins have a better division record. Dolphins have an early loss to the Patriots, which may hurt them division record wise. So, but still, if they go in with a tied record with them, Dolphins win, they're going to win that AFC East. So it's possible. As you guys know, you got to win these games. The games that, kind of like your Giants, Coach, you got to win this game today. Yeah. You got the Bengals without Finley. This is a must-win for the Giants, because there's not a lot of those games you say, well, this should be a win. You know what I mean? And you know them. You said it earlier, Jekyll and Hyde. So, look, you got a team that's kind of reeling from their franchise QB, young QB, tearing his ACL, MCL, LCL, everything last week.
Yeah.
You got to take advantage of that. And you would think the Giants defense should look good, and hopefully Daniel Jones continues his, as he has in the last few weeks of not making mistakes. And when he don't make mistakes, they win football games.
Absolutely. So, and I honestly don't remember the last time the Giants have put 3 wins together in a row. This is, uncharted territory for a while. Haven't been in this part of the pool lately.
Not used to it, yeah. You're on the deep end.
Getting out there a little bit. So, we'll see how that plays out.
Get them floaties on, tread some water, and
that's right. Yeah, I got my little rubber ducky. I'm ready to go, man.
That's all. Rubber ducky, you're the one.
That's right.
That's great. So you ready for my picks, Coach?
No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not.
All right,
ready.
Sorry, buddy.
Here, let me get that going here, and then
beautiful banner.
Like that.
Yeah, unbelievable, Coach. Good. I mean, it's just the graphics, everything. I mean, just top notch, first class.
If you don't want Gazzo breaking your thumbs, then listen to Nick's picks exclusively in the Huddle with Coach Muddle.
Now I'm ready.
All right, perfect. Now he's ready. All right, first game, and I'll tell you, I think Stizz said he agreed with me. Not a lot I like straight this week. It just not a lot I like straight. A lot of tough games, So I got one game I'm going to go straight. I do like the Raiders -3 today. I just think, coming off that Chiefs loss, unless you have that hangover, where you're just, stuck on that game, they should come in and win this game. And it's an important game. I mean, let's not forget, last year they were 6-4 at the same point they are this year, and ended up being 9-7 and missing the playoffs, losing their last game on the road at Denver. And guess where they are in their last game this year? On the road at Denver. So you got to prove that, hey, we're not that team. And look, they look different than last year. I think we'd all agree. Right. But as you know, you still got to play the game. You still got to win the game. But I think, look, that Raiders offense is clicking. Derek Carr was very impressive last week, especially at the line of scrimmage. Look, he pretty much went head-to-head with Mahomes. I mean, there wasn't many punts last week. Raiders played a really good game. Yeah, the defense needs to play, but as Stizz alluded to earlier, is any word on Julio yet, Stizz? Is it any?
Still game time decision questionable, but I think he's going to be out. To tell you the truth,
my brother just said he's out. So yeah, he my brother's back there taking all our bets coming in and all. So making the lines. So so Julio's out. And that's huge. You guys know that, and that trickles down to Calvin Ridley, because now you can say to them, all right, double Calvin Ridley if he gets going, and then what do you have? Gurley's out. So. Although I've actually
liked it out too.
Who?
The tight end.
Hayden Hurst, yeah.
Hayden Hurst,
but Stizz, I think I like, and I'm drawing a blank on his name, but I like the kid playing more than Gurley anyway. You know his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Ryan Hill.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I'll go with the Raiders -3. Then I'm going to go to a 2-team teaser. All right? I'm going to go with Coach's Giants at pick. So this is a 2-team teaser. You take 2 teams, move the line 6 points. They both need to cover. I'm going to take the Giants at pick with the Dolphins -1. I like it. You're just taking the Giants to win the game, and the Dolphins, who look pretty good to beat a team, doesn't have a win yet. I think that's a nice teaser. So I'm going to go Giants pick, Dolphins -1, and then I'm going to go to tonight's game. I'm going to give you the Packers -2, coming off a tough loss against the Colts, where they were up 2 touchdowns at halftime and blew the game.
That was terrible.
So I'm going to take Packers -2, and I'm going to throw them with the Rams +0.5. That line's at 5.5. I know, Stizz, you did say what? Mostert's back and Deebo Samuel's back?
Mostert is definitely back. I think I heard Deebo Samuel was possibly back.
Okay.
Richard Sherman's back as well.
Right. But still, you got Nick Mullins in there. And I do get, look, Rams are coming off the big win against the Bucs. Probably looking at this kind of week. You think you're going to win against the Niners with all the injuries, Jimmy G, Kittle. But I just think, look, man, you're getting the Rams to win this game. I don't know if I bet the 5.5. It just looks shady. A lot of Niners money coming in, though. But I do like the Rams +0.5. I think they find a way to win this game. Playing very balanced football, guys. I mean, Goff threw all over the Bucs, who is early. Let's not forget, a few weeks ago, people were saying Bucs best defense in the league.
Yeah,
Goff threw for like 380 yards. He really threw the ball well. And then their defense doesn't get a lot of chatter. That's a top 5 defense. Defense really starting to come together. They got criticized for that Jalen Ramsey trade. But, man, now I'm thinking that's the thing that really might have taken that defense over the top. You already got the pressure up the middle from Donald. They're looking really good on defense. So, Rams are quietly starting to show, too, like, hey, I mean, to me right now, it's the Saints. Then you got to put the Rams there. They beat the Bucs. I think they're more balanced than Seattle. I think Seattle, just because of the schedule, still finds a way to win that division. But the Rams are a tough team, man. And you guys know McVay's a tough coach to coach against. He calls a really great game.
Yeah, he does.
And then, Coach, I'm sorry, I had one pick that was in my drafts. I didn't text it to you, so I'll give that out too. This is what's called a 3-team teaser, where you can move the line 10 points. This is the ultimate degenerate teaser. Right. But I'm going to go Saints -4, okay, with the Titans +13 and the Bucs +14. I just think, look, the Bucs are playing for their season. I'm kind of curious to watch that game. I don't know that I'd bet it either way. I'm kind of leaning. If it was straight, I'd probably take the Bucs. But when I'm playing the Chiefs, man, I want more than 3.5 points. Or 4 points. So I'm going to take, like I said, 3-team teaser. Saints -4, Titans +13, Bucs +14. And those are my picks for the week.
Like it.
I like them. Sounds good. It's always good when you pick the Giants.
Yeah. and Coach, I'm undefeated with the Giants, except for that one game when Riverboat Ron went for the freaking 2-point conversion.
Yeah. And you lost by half a point.
Oh, my God, man. Laying 1.5. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I hate Ron Rivera. Riverboat Ron. So, and, what's this? Andres Perez. Great show. Quick fantasy question. Pick 2 to start this week. A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Devontae Parker, or Cole Beasley. Stizz, that's your forte, buddy.
Pick 2, definitely going DJ Moore. Playing at Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is terrible. Devontae Parker, Cole Beasley. Wow. That's tough. I mean, Cole Beasley, you can count on for 5-6 catches. Whew, boy, that's a tough one, Andre. I'm going to go.
And A.J. Brown, that's a good defense, You
know what? I'm going to go Devontae Parker.
Okay, I get the Jets.
Playing the Jets, if it's a coin flip, what are you going to do? You're going to go against the worst team they're playing, right? So I'm going to go Devontae Parker. I haven't really been following him too much this year, but like I said, it's a good matchup, and we got Fitz magic, under the helm. So anything's he can let loose anytime. So yeah, DJ Moore, Devontae Parker. Good luck to you.
Yeah,
good stuff.
And Andre, I hope I pronounced your name right, Andres. I hope that's what it's right. But yeah, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for the comment. And Vicky, did the Niners pay their rent this week? Did you guys hear about the Niners?
No.
They can't practice in their county or wherever.
Yes,
they can't have contact sports, so they're not allowed to practice.
The next 3 weeks. They're going to have to find a place to play and a place to practice because all the COVID going around, restrictions. For as
injured as they are, it might be a good thing they can't practice. Seriously, because they've been bitten by the injury bug. And that's another team I'm real curious to see what happens in the offseason because my opinion, I'm curious to see what your guys are, but I think they move on from Jimmy G and try to put a quarterback into that quarterback position.
Yeah, I agree. I think they definitely move on from that.
What do you think, Stizz?
No, I totally agree with you for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
you have to do something.
Because they're too good, man. Yeah, they're just too good with. I mean, the line, the running game. You get the right guy in there, and they said too they might be interested in Cousins. So if they move on from Cousins, I agree. I know, but honestly, Cousins with that kind of talent and Shanahan as his offensive coordinator, I mean, because they played together in Washington, I wouldn't like it either. But I'll tell you this. I mean, I think it's worth giving a try over Garoppolo because I just think that's like the definition of insanity is trying something over and over and getting, expecting different results.
Right.
Because Matt Ryan might be there too, but to me, he's too old. And that's a team that if they, stay healthy, they're going to be around for the next 3 to 5 years. There's too much talent on that team.
Right.
They just need to get a receiver. They need some players at receiver. And, I mean, the line's good and young. The defensive line, Bosa coming back. I mean, they just need to get a receiver.
Vicky, I hung the whistle up in the referee outfit for right now. Now it's just Sundays with Stizz by the fireplace. But who knows? You never know. One of these upcoming games, I might have to unretire the ref outfit. We'll see.
Yeah, trust me, I'm warming the arm up for the possible 4:05 start today. We'll see. If you see a real big orange jersey, you know who's out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
0-0, baby.
We'll be doing game breaks for Popeye's Chicken. Yeah.
The sponsors all over there. That's right.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
3
I think that
stars
was a sponsor on the airplane that came in, Coach, from Denver. It had Popeye's Chicken banner on the side.
That's right. There he is. Look, there. I was wondering where Brian is. What's going on, Brian?
No,
in the house.
Where? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there it is. Coach couldn't see it at first. Coach's nemesis.
Yeah. He comes in an hour late and already started up.
Yeah.
Hour late. So
come on, Brian.
Right,
Spell with a K.
Kick off here soon.
Yeah.
I know everybody's got to get their wagers in before kickoff. So I appreciate everyone checking us out. Really want to thank everyone for taking some time and hanging out with us. Make sure you go over to YouTube, like the page, ring the bell, subscribe. Like our Facebook page, be part of the show. Coach Muddle, Nevada Nick, just type them in. We pop up. We're on any one of your social media outlets and chime in. We appreciate it. So we'll see everybody tomorrow. We'll recap and get you ready for some Monday Night Football. So, all right, everyone, thanks. Take care.
All right, see you.